Welcome to the Desire to Dream podcast. I'm your host, Lo Wilder. The vision of this podcast is to provide tools on how to become successful in your finances, business, leadership development, and much more. A little bit about me: I grew up in the hood, homeless at the age of 14. I made a choice not to become a product of my environment. And today, I am a successful businessman, community leader, and inspirational speaker. It is my desire to encourage and empower you to unlock your greatness. So tune in and enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Desire to Dream podcast. I'm your host, Lo Wilder. Thank you for subscribing to this show. Thank you for listening. I hope you guys share with your friends. Man, today got one of my former teammates from Hampton University. Man, this brother is just doing major things in the sports marketing business. Mr. Mike West, Mr. West in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's good, bro? How's it going, man?
Man, all is well. All is well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. I'm,
man.
I'm glad to be on, bro. I'm glad to be on. I love what you're doing with your platform, and I appreciate you for having me on. It's an honor, and yeah, man, we're gonna chop it up and kick some
Hey,
flavor.
let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, man. So Mike and I, man, for those that don't know, played at Hampton. I came in 2004. He was starting cornerback, had crazy swag back then, came from Houston, man. And I was a freshman. What year you was in 04? You was a junior, right? It was your junior year?
Yeah, that was my junior year. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. Man, that year was crazy right there, because that was like my junior year. I never, I had got hurt that year. I don't know if you remember, but
Mm-hmm.
my junior year, I had got hurt. I came back like the last, we had played like those big games like Bethune, and then
Right.
that big stretch we had with a lot of good teams. I came back at the end of the year, and you know what I'm saying, I had one of probably my best little stretch at HU. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Absolutely.
balling. We went to the playoffs, and William and Mary, bro. We had that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
man.
uh, that was a dope year, bro. That was like really like the start of, shoot, how many, what, three rings back, three
Three
championships?
rings, three championships, three MEAC championships back to back to back.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
just and legendary coach Joe T, man.
man,
Joe T would
facts,
then play games,
facts,
bro.
facts. Hey, what's crazy is we my 707 team, we played in a tournament in Atlanta last year, and we kind of went over to the Hall of Fame down
Okay.
down here in Atlanta. We
Yeah.
went over to the Hall of Fame, and Joe T got a setup in there, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he got
Yeah.
nominated a few years ago, man. I saw AJ posted it on Facebook. And I was like, man, that's my coach right there. Legendary. He did a wonderful job
The
at
GOAT.
Hampton. The
Yeah.
GOAT,
Yeah, that's
man.
the
And
GOAT.
and philosopher too, man. He was dropping that wisdom,
Facts.
bro. It was just even outside the football field. He just really made you think about life and how you approach things, man. Joe T's definitely he's the GOAT for sure.
Facts, man. Definitely, man. Hey, shout out to my HBCUs,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Uh,
But yeah, man, that's what's up. So you graduate from Hampton, and you're in the you started getting into like brand marketing, and you starting to work with the high school recruiting and helping kids. Man, we're gonna kind of dive into some of that right now, and it's gonna be a very interesting topic because right now, I think about a year ago or 2 years ago, where they're starting to allow athletes to kind of find ways to get endorsements, money, technically get paid in different avenues, man. So it's a very interesting time. So kind of talk about the brand, talk about some of the things that, you've been working, some of the projects you've been working on, because you've been doing some phenomenal stuff, been seeing it on social media, on the YouTube. So kind of share some of that.
yeah. So we'll hit on the NIL first, right? You talking
Yeah.
about
The
NIL. So
NIL. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, NIL's been big right now, man. That's one of the hottest topics in sports right now is the whole NIL situation. So let's break NIL down. Um, NIL is basically name, image, and likeness. It is pretty much, in my opinion, what NCAA, kind of came up with to say that, hey, you know, this is our form of paying you guys, right? You got to think about every sport. You got to think about every sport. It's not just football, basketball. you got athletes in the whole university for all different other programs.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was a challenge to figure out, like, man, how do we do this the right way, so that it's fair? But ultimately, I'm all for NIL, man. I'm excited. And specifically for the sport of football, I'm happy that it's in place. A lot of people don't agree with, the amount of money that the kids are getting or whatever you feel like. Some people saying it's out of control for football and, all these different things. But a lot of these kids come from private poverty-stricken environments.
Right.
A lot of these kids come from those, underserved communities and things of that sort. So, they deserve an opportunity to kind of, get what they deserve while they playing, man. You got the situation with the Clemson wide receiver, Justin, the kid, I think it's Justin Ross, or, I forget his last name, but yeah, man, at one point was the top receiver in the nation. You know what I'm saying? If he
Mm-hmm.
came out of the draft, he would have been number one. And, you know, have an injury. His whole deal was, I think he had like some spinal injuries or something like that, and they really didn't want to take a chance on him. So he kind of dropped and went undrafted. But, ultimately, had that kid been able to get, an NIL deal or something like that while he had that high value, while his
Right.
value was high and his stock was high, then, he probably would have been in a better situation. But,
Yeah.
you never know what can happen. So, being able to maximize your value for that time, just like a professional player, if you average 30, this season for the Rockets, you know what I'm saying? If you average 30 and that season you want to go into your contract negotiation season, you can get that bag, boom, the next year you may not play as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of, how I look at it, man. It's just the kids being able to maximize their value while they have a chance. The NFL isn't guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's just, specifically for football. I can't really speak on other sports, but I know for football, man, I think I'm very man, people before us, man, that played this game. And, you got situations like Reggie Bush's situation. You got we can go down the list.
I mean,
Maurice
even Tim
Clarett.
Tebow, imagine
Yeah,
if he would have been able to cash in all them years he played at Florida, winning the national championships. I mean, he would have
Tim,
cleaned up.
Tim Tebow with hey, man, it's a bunch of players, man, like
Mm-hmm.
Vince Young. Vince
Right.
Young would have went crazy in Texas, you know what I'm saying, with NIL, so it's just, even, but I'm saying like Reggie Bush got in trouble for it. Maurice Clarett got in trouble for it,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
it's a lot of players that, got university programs, got sanctions over, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, so it's good to kind of see, the evolution of that. Do I think it has a bad side to it? Of course, everything has pros and cons. There's a false sense of delusion because now you got every kid thinking they an NIL kid. Every kid is not an NIL kid. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
And you got kids calling or talking to college recruiters and they're like, man, coach, what kind of NIL deal I'm getting? Like, son, you barely on the
On the team.
you barely on the list for a scholarship, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, it's gonna have that component to where it's all NIL, everybody crazy thinking they're gonna get money. But the reality of it is, it's a small market of guys that are gonna be, really getting that type of money from NIL.
Right, right. So, man, it's interesting. I mean, I got a lot of things I want to talk about with this because obviously we both played, football, and the schedule is rigorous. And a lot of times, man, what people don't understand, I'm going to start off with this, right? These top big schools, like people been getting paid since forever. So it's not like some of the kids weren't getting paid, and like you said, it put the school and the players ultimately at risk for their character and going into the NFL draft and things like that. But we've seen a lot of these schools make millions, if not billions of dollars off of their program. And I hear, and this is where it gets controversial because you got kids that are in biology majors, research and whatnot. And they're like, we're bringing in millions of dollars as well. And I'm like this. This is my thought process. If you're bringing and generating funds for the school, whether it's research, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, you should be able to get compensated. And a scholarship, like you said, isn't enough. So I want to talk about a little bit about that because yeah, you're on a full scholarship, but if you're moving from Houston, Texas, like yourself, and you're going all the way to Hampton, and you know, bro, Hampton was not feeding us like gourmet style food. I
Hey,
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, even though the name of the restaurant and the food service was gourmet
Gourmet
services.
services, right? It wasn't gourmet, and not only that, and I'm glad Hampton changed because I went there years after graduating and saw that they rebuilt the cafeteria, and I'm like, okay, they did it right, buffet style.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't know, man. We had tickets, bro. Yeah, you went,
Bruh.
bro. You had a ticket. I used to cut it in half because if I didn't like one meal, bro, I couldn't get the second. I'm like, come on, I didn't like it. It wasn't good at all, bro. I'm just keeping it real, man. So you had kids starving, bro. We over here playing football, and we hungry, man. And you already know what it was like, man, being in the dorm trying to put dollars together so you can order a pizza, man, from Pizza Hut,
Nah,
man.
facts.
And so it's just real, right? Playing Madden, like, hey, Madden. I got 10 on Madden. If I win, I'm gonna be able to eat Pizza Hut. You feel me? Chanelos, man,
Hey, yeah.
something, right?
Hey, like I'm a ball tonight.
Hey, I'm a ball tonight. Listen, I'm getting that. So I mean, so explain that, right? Like people don't understand the schedule, bro. We had 7 a.m. meetings, if not workouts. You got class from 8 to 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock, we're at another meeting. 3 o'clock, we got practice. After practice, we working out to go rush to go to get dinner. After dinner, we got meetings. So then you got your team meeting. Then you got your defense and offensive meeting. Then you got your position meeting. By the time it's 10 o'clock, man. I mean, it's all day long. And then you got study hall, right? So, and if you don't have a family who can send you, I mean, I used to envy people who had care packages, bro. I'm like, bro, what's that? Like, what's that, bro? Like, how you,
Hey,
you know
that's
what I
great.
mean? It's just real, man. But talk on that, man. Speak on that because we have that experience. You feel me? Like, and I really think that people have to understand. I think this is a great episode to really kind of share the reality of what athlete looks like. Because a lot of people are like, oh, they good, they got it made, they're on full scholarship, but you don't understand the real struggle. And then even flying back, no one's gonna pay for you to get to Texas for Thanksgiving break. There's a lot of times us athletes had to stay because we couldn't afford to go back home. So speak on that, bro.
Facts, man. I mean, I guess this is a great segue into like, and we'll speak on the brands and stuff later on, but the reason why I started my non-for-profit was just, for that actual, in other words, I'll make it simple. As a high school recruit, you going through that, that struggle, that adversity of trying to get a free scholarship, trying to get a scholarship, at least, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get a free education, right? That's always gonna be like, if you talk to like 9 parents, no matter what their real motive is, they're gonna be like, oh, I just want you to get education. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's that struggle, like you poor, you trying to get to this camp, you trying to get to this opportunity to try to get somebody's attention to get an offer, right? And so you got this struggle. Then you got the next phase. Okay, I got a scholarship, but like you just said, I'm at whatever university, and I'm really out here starving. You know what I'm saying? I'm really out here grinding in the pursuit of most cases trying to go to the NFL, or I'm just that kid on the team that's trying to make it through and get my degree. You know what I'm saying? But it's a struggle. It's a real struggle. So I kind of started my non-for-profit, bro, just to kind of like not only bring attention to that, but more so like be a service, be a support system in those areas, all those different things that come with that whole process, of trying to get it, getting it, the day-to-day, mental toughness that it takes to endure it and overcome the adversity, preparation, and just hopefully we can put you in the best situation. But, that's a struggle, man. People don't understand that, like, you trying to get to college and you already you struggling, you're in poverty in a lot of cases. And I'll
Hmm.
speak on, what we saw. Most you can look at it, most of the players on our team kind of came from
Right.
a adverse situation. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's different tiers to it, bro. Because I can speak on both sides of it now that I'm actually working in the recruiting industry, and I've had a lot of clients that are going to FBS Division I universities, bigger programs that
Hmm.
have a few more resources, but there's still a lot of adversity you're going through because you ain't rich. You know what I'm saying? Your
Hmm.
family's still back at the crib.
Right.
You playing for Bama, you playing for Clemson, you playing for whatever. The reality of it is, mom, dad, grandma, auntie, they still back
They
at the
still
crib
back home.
struggling.
Man,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
bro. Yeah,
They
for real.
still struggling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out here playing in these big stadiums, and
They think you made
it's
it already.
yeah, it's 90,000, 80,000. You know what I'm saying? It's we in a championship. Whatever. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Facts.
going
Facts.
my people back at the crib still struggling, and I'm out here scoring touchdowns and making plays, and everybody else making money. And I'm supposed to be happy just because I got a degree,
Mm,
like just because I'm getting a degree. Like,
right.
what sense does that make? Like, if we can't be that slow. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that people try to make it seem like that should be enough. Are you getting a free degree? You know what I'm saying? Are you getting a First of all, the degree ain't free. You
And
know what
that's, hey,
I'm
I was about to say the degree ain't free. And not only that, bro,
saying?
you could lose it. How many times, man, in the off season, you got the exit
Fact.
interview with Joe T. We were talking with Joe T, but everybody knew they had to sit down with him. But I know other people that were in the hot seat, man, cats that we played with that lost a scholarship, bro.
Football, a lot of people understand, like, at that level, shoot, scholarships are annually renewable. You know what I'm saying?
Annually
Like,
renewable.
it's a grind. You stressed out, man. You got stuff at the crib going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, to bring the NIL situation to a head, in a nutshell, man. Like, these players deserve more, man. They putting their bodies on the line.
With this whole NIL, like I know in college you couldn't talk to a sports agent until you were committing to the draft, and then you can now open up shop. So how does it work with high school students? Because you're in the recruiting business, and then you got these NIL. So how does that kind of work for high school students? Can they get an endorsement deal?
Well, so that's kind of why I started my brand. With the brand management whole ordeal. Why I even started specializing in and working in that lane is, depends on the state. So California, it's open. Um, I think it's another. I don't know how many states that you can do it. So some states in high school you can get your NIL deals and endorsement deals and things
Okay,
of that sort. In the state of Texas, you cannot, because we have a governing body, and it's against our rules. We pretty much we're like the only state that has like a NCAA governing body in high school sports.
mm,
And it's very organized, and it's ran very, very well. I don't agree with it. A lot of the things that it does, but I can't say it's in place. You know what I'm saying? So we can't do that. Our kids can't get NIL deals, and they forfeit their amateurism if they do that, and they're ineligible. So,
gotcha.
depending on what state you're in Cali, yeah, you can get it in, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Early,
It's
okay.
it's it's all good out there. Yeah.
Kind of talk about the branding, the image, the image that you have to put up, and why it's important to be a brand. You got social media now where a lot of people are you are the business, you are the entity. Kind of speak a little bit on that and how you do what you do to help improve the brand and make it marketable.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of goes into our PPR lane. That kind of goes into the prime pick representation brand that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much, that's the whole that should be your goal now. That should be your goal now as a high school athlete or as a amateur athlete younger than that. That should be your goal. And that's pretty much why I started the brand. That kind of naturally was my fit anyway, because I went to school. I'm a sports management major. I went to school for that. I went to school to be an agent and work in sports marketing or sports branding. And
Hmm.
so everything kind of came full circle when this whole NIL stuff kind of took everything to the next level. So it's bigger now than just when you talk about grassroots sports. It's bigger now than just actually playing the sport. You actually want to brand yourself. And I, plainly put, I tell my clients, that I work with, you want to become bigger than any box that they're gonna try to put you in.
Mm.
They're gonna try to put you in this box of, oh, he's just a great football player. Hey, we can cut him today and bring him tomorrow, and or we can, love him today and get rid of him tomorrow. And if your brand is only football based, hey man, once they cut you and your whole brand was football, then you're pretty much done. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Once they get ready to wash you, then they're gonna wash you. You know what I mean? But if you've I look up to, when it comes to this um branding and business and entrepreneurship for athletes, Magic Johnson, man. Magic Johnson is my, I don't want to say idol, but I'm saying, I respect him. And
Facts.
he paved the way for thinking beyond just being a
Football.
great
Yeah.
athlete. Yeah, being a great athlete. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's just kind of how we've been trained to think. But he was Magic was like, cool with Jerry Buss. He was cool with the front office, you know what I'm saying? And I'm soaking up this game, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm learning the game. And so he became much more and bigger than just Magic on the court. You know what I'm saying? And so now Magic trying to be on the NFL team, Starbucks,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, Magic is just everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And so I've always studied him. I've always looked up to him as a sports management major. I was looking at, I think, some interview on Shaq, because he's another one of the or athletes that I, study their,
Right.
their business, strategies and their business endeavors and things of that sort. But I was looking at an interview, and Shaq was like, man, he does his branding deals and his partnerships um, for equity. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? For equity. So, no matter what commercial you see him on and he's promoting a brand, he has equity in those brands. He's not just, hey, you're not just paying me for a
A
spot on
one and done.
a
Yeah.
one and done endorsement. He's promoting a brand that he's building as well. So, he knows his value and his influence is going to bring value to that company, increase sales or whatever the case may be. So why not get some equity, and be all in on that? So, going back, bringing everything back full circle, it's that spirit that needs to be more prevalent within specifically football, because this is a sport that you use and thrown away so often.
Right.
Uh, and branding right now is very important for your kid, because it's more now. It's you know you want to be bigger than any university. You know what I'm saying? You want to go into that university, with a name where you're bringing brand value and you're bringing more equity to that particular program beyond just what you can do on the field. You know what I'm saying? You have your
Word.
own community, you have your own following. Uh, you can do all the types of things. That university is just only going to enhance your brand or whatever, and vice versa. That is very important now.
Hmm.
That determines, in most cases, your visibility and your engagement determines how high your rankings are and all this other kind of stuff. So there's an actual metric, there's an actual market now for high school, college football recruiting, that they develop. They have metric systems that say, uh, this kid is worth 300,000 based off of his followers on social media.
Man.
He has 2 million followers on TikTok. Um, he has this 50,000 on Instagram. He has this on Twitter. Um, his fan engagement is this. He's this rated player on the football field, and you combine all that,
and then they come up with your value for NIL, right? So with that being said, they have a whole metric system for that. You don't think you need to be branding and building your popularity, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, and investing into your own brand. So that's kind of where we specialize at. We've mastered that niche, and we've had a lot of success doing it. And right now we hot, man. We just, we building, and I just took on the youngest kid I've ever took on. He's 7 years old. He's a phenom.
Man.
Plays quarterback, the number one player in that age group, in the seven age group, the number one player in the nation. Right now, I just took him on as a client, and we're about to do we got a lot of major things in store. BJ Parker, shout out BJ Parker in Houston, man.
That's what's up.
He's my next phenom project that I'm working on now. And the significance of it is what I just told you, why a company like this or a brand like this needs to exist, and why somebody needs to dominate this space, because it's important. It's important for these kids to have, in other words, if you don't understand that nowadays, you're going to have a hard time being recruited. And I'll tell you why. And this is for all your viewers and people that really don't understand what's going on in college football and, high school football recruiting. Not only do you have NIL, you have the transfer portal. The transfer portal allows you in certain windows to transfer to any school without a penalty. Then in certain other windows, you could transfer, but you may have some other kind of situations where you may have to sit out a year or whatever the case may be. But the transfer portal allows you now to basically create, if I'm a college football program, we have a free agency system now. So if I need, 4 linemen and I need 2 defensive backs to come in and make us stronger for our roster from a personnel perspective, I can go in the transfer portal during that window, go and get me some kids that are backups at their school. They already on
be
football.
starters.
You know what I'm saying? They back up, behind a great player at another school, but I bring him in and he's a starter. So I don't need a high school kid. The value of a high school kid diminished. It diminished drastically, because now, how it used to be, man, we got to go in our recruiting class and bring in some great players next year. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like I can go get a player that really could have been starting, but he was behind a dog. I plug him in here. We immediately got a contributor. He's already got experience. He's already ready. Right now, I don't have to get him ready to play like a freshman. You know what I'm saying?
I think the best example of that was the defensive end at Florida State, who was at UGA, and he was behind Ojulari. He was behind the dude that just went number 1. I forget his name, but he's a defensive end. I think he went number 1 to the Jets.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's a prime example. Walker. Yeah. Prime example.
Yep. Prime example of that. So my point of saying that is, for your viewers and whoever else have kids, may have kids in sports or know somebody with kids in football, that's that's where we at now, man. It's like, the high school recruit lost a lot of value. So in order for you to stick out, man, you better have some sauce on your name. You better have some notoriety.
Yeah.
So you can move yourself up to that first tier of awareness and people knowing about you. It ain't about just being, hey man, this kid right here can play, but if they don't know about you, it's hard to get some juice now. It's hard to get offers and things like that when you got a better percentage. You got a better shot if you got that brand, you got a name for yourself. People know who you are on social media.
Right.
And then the other component of that is obviously you want to be good at football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to be good. Yeah, you can't have all the the film ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, the film ain't gonna lie. So
yeah, that's good. That's good, man. So last thing before you go, because I saw you have these you had I think it was a seminar. You had the young athletes come in, and it was basically teaching them the financial literacy, and how to handle these funds, right? I think it was something along those lines.
Yeah,
So, before you go, how important is it? Because the NFL, you hear a lot of people say the NFL stands for not for long, because the average NFL player may see 5 years if you're good. There's not that many Tom Brady's. You talked about Vince Young, who only had a few years. You only get one shot. Running back shelf life, very, you look at the Adrian Petersons. Todd Gurley was the man just a few years ago. Now he ain't got a team, So you talk about
facts.
this financial literacy piece right before you go, and how important it is. So, to connect with someone like yourself, because not only are you going to help their brand, market them and whatnot, but you're also going to teach them some fundamental skills in financial literacy, so that that money can actually last and they can create generational wealth.
Yeah, nah, absolutely, bro. So it was important for me to actually have that program in our, saying our program. We wanted to make sure we had that, because that's something that's near and dear to my heart, you know what I'm saying? Just because I've seen a lot of situations personally, and just, we've heard about all these different situations with all these different football players, um, and them playing and being these, at one point, these, huge figures, what I'm saying, for the sport of football or whatever. Then you turn around and they're not even playing ball anymore. Then, I just worked with a few clients that kind of went through some things, and just looking at that, like, man, we need to bring more attention to just the financial side. And a lot of people say that, um but I want to actually do something, right? And I actually want to be proactive and put something together. And that's kind of how we came up with, the pros program, which is professionals regardless of sports. I started that program with my good buddy, man, Ed Pollard, city councilman in Houston, Texas. He's always, been an advocate for youth and education, and literacy, and financial literacy and things of that sort. He was a former athlete as well, and turned attorney, and now he's a city councilman. And we both shared the same interest in shedding some light, and providing some mentorship for these high profile football players that I work with, and making sure that they're on that trajectory to one day possibly be a professional athlete. So we wanted to put some framework in front of them, man, some programming in front of them,
Word.
to expose them to just some financial things, some not only financial. We focus on mental health in that program. That is one of the components of it as well. Those are the two, outside of athletic development. It's mental health and it's financial literacy. Those are the two things that I feel like us as football players, and for the most part, the NFL is 70% African American. I would like to see a number and percentage on how many of those African Americans come from poverty-stricken environments, and I'm pretty, we know it's high,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. So you talk about those two issues, uh, the lack of mental health resources, and mental health education, and the lack of financial literacy. Those are two huge issues within that sport in our community that needed to be
Facts.
addressed. And for my non-for-profit, we really wanted to focus on that. Fourth Down Foundation, we really want to focus on that, and put some things in place, man, and work our butts off to have resources, man, for these kids. And that's pretty much what that program was, man. We, had different people come in, like Gerald Green. We had running back Trey Williams, and professional athletes that have been through it. And we take the kids and expose them to these 5-star restaurants or these different venues. Hopefully plant some seeds with them that are going to continue to grow. And we really just want to start that agenda, start that initiative, man.
Word.
Man, we definitely gotta connect with your platform as well, man,
Yeah,
and
for
see how we
sure.
can get you out, man, and see if you can do some stuff with us.
No, for sure, man. I will, bro. And we're gonna definitely connect, Man, Mike, bro, I'm super proud of you, bro. I love what you're doing, man, with the community and the kids, bro. You know, my heart is in the youth as well. But you're doing things that are just phenomenal, man, and taking your passion and your purpose, man, connecting it and really having an impact in our future, bro. So the world is going to be better because of people like yourself, man, turning your dream into a
Appreciate it,
reality.
man.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Taking
Appreciate
your
it.
dream and
Appreciate it,
putting it
bro.
in reality, bro. Definitely
Yeah,
appreciate that.
that's the play, man. That's what we trying to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? We trying to turn
Word.
our dreams into realities, man. And been my thing is to make sure I'm doing my part to carry out my purpose, man. And he'll bless whatever else. My 7-on-7 program, I want to plug that right now. Texas Stars, football. That's our 7-on-7 program, man. Um, Big things ahead. We're building that program and we're mentoring a lot of kids, bro. And again, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have so many kids getting scholarship offers, man. Every day you look up,
Yeah, I
kids are
see it,
posting
man.
that.
It's
Yeah,
amazing, bro.
kids posted, man, they getting scholarship offers and God is just blessing us, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can say is God is blessing us with good kids, great families, and we're doing some big things and we're growing and it's gonna get bigger. And I'm thankful, bro. I'm thankful to be in a blessed situation like that.
For sure, man. Well, we definitely gonna collaborate, man. We already talked about it. We're gonna put it in motion for sure, man. And Mike, again, appreciate you. We're gonna have Mike's social media handles in the comments or in the bio. You'll be able to see it in the description of this video. If you're listening to the audio, you're gonna be able to find Mike. If you have any questions for him, if you have an athlete, one of your kids in sports right now, you want to ask him some questions or even hire him on to help elevate their marketing and branding and get these kids some scholarships. You can see the track record when you see his Facebook, when you see the Instagram, you can see that this man is putting them numbers up, and he's
Facts.
doing amazing things, bro. He ain't just talking about it. Like he's
Facts.
legitimately got some top tier stars, man, and athletes, and even those that are in between. But these kids are finding scholarships and they're turning their dreams into reality. So that's a major, major move. Continue to do great things, man, and we'll be in touch, brother.
All right, sounds good, bro.
Word. Peace.